Section 5, page 64, we have Kabuta remarks that in such poems, typical of the court, the speaker places himself physically close to the fence at home. By contrast, Saigyo writes of the Yamagatsu in the following way. He says, "What I see when I look around at the dwellings of poor mountain people, colors get faint and so quiet a village in midwinter." Even when physically at a distance from them, Saigyo notices the people and their livelihood. There is in him an interest in their lives and a strong sense of compassion for them. He paid attention to the fisher folk and we'll go on. Solitude had become tolerable in its own way, an aspect of reality to cherish. This insight seems to lie behind the following poem. Poem 1080. An ancient field, in the sole tree, starkly rising to its side, sits a dove, calling to its mate, the awesome nightfall. That's the title of the book. Furu Hata no 1080. An ancient field and the sole tree, starkly rising to its side, sits a dove, calling to its mate, the awesome nightfall. What's he calling about? The awesome nightfall? He's saying it's awesome. The bird's telling the other bird. He says here, Kubota comments. I don't know, Kubota, is he a critic? He's one of the top critics. We do have a critic. Of course. He says, of course, there is the motive of body-piercing loneliness in such a poem. But its atmosphere is not dark in the way we usually use that term. The time of day is undoubtedly nightfall, but even though the items in front of the poet are becoming indistinguishable from one another, one has no sense here of daytime being pursued and demolished by the night. An ancient field, and in the sole tree, starkly rising to its side, sits a dove, calling to its mate, the awesome nightfall. Again. He says, an ancient field, and in the sole tree, starkly rising to its side, sits a dove, starkly rising to its side sits a dove, calling to its mate, the awesome nightfall. Where is it he posted it? Remember when he found that grave with all the weeds and stuff? He posted a poem. So, and he posted in the cabin, or Rokon posted. They posted poems when they left the place, so they were way ahead of Instagram. They were posting post-it notes of poems for people to read. So they're an extreme precursor to Facebook. Now, anyways, he says, I don't know what this, I'll just read the poem. It says, Kumo O, 1784. Clouds thickly mantle these mountains, but the blocked moon had already taken up residence in my mind, so nothing now prevents me from seeing its serenity there. He finds within himself what is virtually the same moon. He found the moon inside himself. And very interesting spiritual property. We'll have to research it. You think Rajinder Singh could explain what that moon is? He's got the moon inside himself, so here he's saying, okay, was even a sense that through such practices, oh, here we go. This is not to deny, however, that Saigyo's preoccupation in the moon, as shown in the poems of this book, was deep. Yamada Shozen researched for decades to unearth the multiple and often subtle links between Saigyo's verse and the practices of Buddhism in 12th century Japan. He detailed how the use of representations of the full moon or the full moon itself served as the focal point for extended meditations. In these meditations, referred to as gachirinkan, prized especially within the shingon school, the mind-heart, or koro, the practitioner was visualized as progressively filling with light. Objectives of such exercises included an enhanced ability to recollect the past, greater powers of memorization, and the most literal sense enlightenment. There was even a sense that through such practices something like a personalized, luminescent moon would take up residence within the interior of the body, mind of the committed meditator. Yamada suggests that poems otherwise easily mistaken as banal become interesting, even fascinating, when we realize this dimension of Saigyo's preoccupation with the moon. Such meditations explain the frequent occurrence of these poems of the homonym sumo. One ideogram for it means to become lucid, but an alternative denotes to lodge within. The double entendre catches the way these poems, based on gachirinkan, verbally represent experiences of drawing the moon and its luminosity into the very inner being of the poet monk residing there. Its light becomes embodied following this one such verse. It says, Kumo o futaka mi yama no sukaki dwa koro no sumaya. One. I like this one though. 1784, he says. That was the poetry. We don't accept English, yeah. Clouds thickly mantle these mountains. Clouds thickly mantle these mountains, but the blocked moon had already taken up residence in my mind, so nothing now prevents me from seeing its serenity there. Black moon, though, right? Black moon. The moon's blocked by the clouds. You can see it anyways, because he has the inner moon. And this guy Yamada Shozen says that there's the inner moon in Buddhism. And he says, Soji writes, Yamada inverts the situation with ease. Prevented from viewing the moon in the sky, he finds within himself what is virtually the same moon. Konishi summed up this trajectory of research by noting that Saigyo perceived cherry blossoms and the moon as mandalas, and then went on to caution against judging such poems with only a 20th century sensibility and standards, writing that we must give full consideration to how many people in the 12th century would have been deeply moved by these poems. This was poetry that was, but Well, it was at the same time something more than poetry. So you have to consider it more than poetry. It's Buddhist truth as well. The poem of Saigyo that over time became best known to the Japanese is precisely such a one. It says Ko Koro Naki 515 says, I thought I was free of passion, so this melancholy comes as a surprise. A woodcock shoots up from Mars when autumn's twilight falls.
Slowly.
I thought I was free of passions. This melancholy comes as a surprise. A woodcock shoots up from marsh when autumn's twilight falls. We've heard this many times. Woodcock, the bird. They used a different word before us. Again? Shoots up from the marsh when autumn's twilight falls. Translations of this poem cannot but stumble in trying to render the Japanese word awari. With a long history of associations, it often has mono no awari. This term, at least for Saigyo, designated the abrupt sense of being confronted with exquisite beauty, but a beauty that, because all things are impermanent, will disappear as quickly as it arrived. Yeah, there seem to be sense that it disappears, but
I read that poem again. You see that?
I thought I was free of passions, so this melancholy comes as a surprise.
The melancholy comes and goes.
Yeah.
Then?
Woodcock shoots up from the marsh when autumn's twilight falls. Well, twilight doesn't last
the
either.
Woodcock also is very soldier, and the twilight also.
Twilight, never lasts. You ever try to take a photo of it?
Yeah,
you see a good sunset, and you walk out 5 minutes with the camera, it's gone. That's why professional photographers. I don't know.
We put it together. He's a melancholy,
We'll read on to another poem. It says,
because it falls also, as it falls.
It says, let it be spring and under cherry blossoms that I die, while the moon is perfect at mid-month, like it was for his peaceful passing. We happen to know that, so he wants it like Buddha's. He wants it mid-month. We're perfect at mid-month, the moon. Oh, and he wants it under the cherry blossoms with the moon.
So why should we go on that? I think it would be better to wait until he enjoys all that.
Let me do this other poem. It
Unless
says,
he wants to take that beauty with him, going as he goes with that lasting beauty.
That's the end of part 5. We are reading from Just the Life and Times of Saigyo and the Awesome Nightfall. Actually, we come to the beginning of the poems, directly. We finished on page... we didn't really finish because we have to do it over. Page 70. Section 5. What do you think? We've done Saigyo over and over a number of times.